can see that this is a big boulder, and that's a bass right there. Those are two bass that are sitting next to the rock right there. And you can see the way they're moving around when you put the Mega Live on a fixed spot and you actually look at it. Got him. There he is. I got a good one. There he is.
There you go, James.
There he is. Oh, there's a better one. Yep, there you go. Not a giant, but he's got buddies with him. Wow, holy mackerel.
He's really giving you the business.
I'm telling you, no, I'm telling you, there's some real whippersnappers out here, and this is not even a real giant, but there's some ones in here that'll get your attention. Wow, look at that. Okay, boy, I think we got him on the last, oh, there you go, there you go. Come here, buddy. There you go.
Thanks, James.
There you go. It's not a giant, but a really nice smallmouth. Look at that
Nice.
Beautiful fish. Come here, buddy. Can you get my drop shot sinker out of there? Come here, we'll get her back in the water pretty quick. She didn't come out of particularly really deep water, came out about 12, 15, 14 foot of water. But look at that, beautiful bass. Look at the color of that thing. Come here, buddy. Wow, that was fun. No question about it. A beautiful summer day. You know, right now, Jeff Simpson and I are fishing for one of our favorite fish, and it's the smallmouth bass. Both of us had the good fortune to fish all over North America fishing for smallmouth bass. I mean, we're talking Canada, Southwest, down in Arizona, the Columbia River, the Missouri River, the Great Lakes, even into the Mid-South reservoirs. And what we're going to talk about is understanding the nature of smallmouth bass and how to become more of a proficient smallmouth bass fisherman, particularly focusing on finesse fishing. Right now it's midsummer, it's really prime time for doing this on deep water structures, and we're going to talk about this, and it's really a gas for catching numbers of really big brownies. Closed captioning is provided by Smooth Moves, adjustable boat seat suspensions for a smoother ride.
You know, it's really awesome and interesting over the last 20 years just to watch how the smallmouth population has grown and expanded across the country. And not only have the populations gotten larger, the fish are getting bigger. And you're talking, boy, back in the day, if you caught a 4-pound smallmouth, you really had something. Well, you know, those fish are all over the place, and we're talking even bigger fish. You know, the 6, 7, 8-pound smallmouth. So, ooh, there's one.
No
little
size.
one, James.
No size?
No.
No.
Well, I gained. Maybe he was just joking.
Better?
Ooh, yeah.
What? Getting bigger?
He got bigger.
Yeah.
Maybe something ate the first one.
Yeah.
I don't think he's that. Ooh,
Not a bad one.
41, huh?
Whoa, oh boy, look at that there. There's one right there too.
He's gonna give up. Maybe jump in the boat.
What did he nibble on?
He hit the little tube there, James. Bass, they get bigger than that. That's a good start, a good indication. We're on some fish here. James has got us on the fish, on the boulders. Cool. I was just throwing this little tube. You know, there's a lot of these finesse baits. This is a little smaller proportion tube. And James is doing the drop shot thing. You know, throughout the day, fish will show a preference towards one finesse bait or the other. So it's good. It's a good idea for the anglers to be using different baits. That's for sure.
This segment is brought to you by Sunset Country, Ontario, Canada. You gotta come visit. Oh, 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 that's a better one there, I think. Oh,
Yeah.
oh. Come here. Yep, I don't know. Whoop, yep. That could be a better one. Ooh. Oh, that was my Ultrex making the boil there. I thought it was the fish. Big boy, I think we need a net. Where is he? Oh, wow.
Ooh.
There's a good one.
There you go.
Come here. Wow. Come here. Come here. Wow, that's a goodie.
Yeah.
That's a good one. Oh, look at that
James.
guy there.
Woo.
There you go. Bring him. Bring that little runt into the into the pen. Wow. Wow. Look at that guy there. Beautiful smallmouth bass. You know, one of the real keys to becoming a really good smallmouth bass fisherman, as you said, is understanding the nature of the fish. You know, these fish actually spawned, you know, when the water was like in the 58 degrees in spring, 55 degrees along the perimeter of the shallow gravel and rock spines around the lake. But this particular lake actually has a lot of deep water forage. Let me get her back in the water. This lake also has a lot of tulibis or ciscos. And what happens is, you know, aside from eating crayfish, a lot of these fish actually target this deeper water pelagic forage, particularly the really large ones. And what they do is they move out to these secondary humps and deep water reef systems in the center of the lake so they can access this deep water forage. And that's what we're doing today, is actually deep water smallmouth fishing. They're not deep water, like deep reef fishing. It's really prime time throughout the summer in many lakes, you know, but it's not in all lakes. It depends on the given body of water you're in. In some lakes, actually, they're crayfish-based lakes, and the fish don't move that much. I mean, they can actually live their entire life on a couple of block area. They'll spawn and live on shallow reefs, you know, on shallow crayfish-based lakes. But like lakes we're in here, where you have a lot of that deep water forage, whether it be rainbow smelt, ciscos, tulibi, shad, they do a lot of movement, and a lot of times what they'll do is set up on these deep water shelves in the fact that they can access that larger food or larger forage, which in this case happens to be tulibis. I know they're strong at this time of the year. You get in this warm water, boy.
He's gonna. Yeah.
They're super juiced.
Super juiced.
Wow.
I know,
Where's he going there, big boy?
I don't know. I've never been spooled. There's always a first. Wow. Angry. He's angry.
Good boy, I got another one right underneath the boat. I got another one right underneath the boat here.
Catch him.
Wow. You need the net on that little runt?
Yeah, spools.
Oh, there you go.
See.
That's a good one. Come here, where is he? There you go. That's a good one.
There you go. Miss James, thank you, sir. That's finesse fishing at its finest right there. And, you know, and there's a lot of power fishing tactics with crankbaits, but, you know, a lot of the really good bass fishermen who fish tournaments, guess what they're doing? They're finesse fishing. And that is the deal most of the time. Nice fish.
You know, Jeff, you're absolutely right about that. You know, well, power fishing techniques with topwater, jerk baits, crankbaits can work in these conditions at times. When you look at professional bass tournaments that are held throughout the Midwest and in many places around the country, most of the time, multiple day tournaments, it's dominated with various types of finesse techniques. And what I'm talking about finesse, it could be everything from a Nico rig, a drop shot rig, a tube, a Ned rig are really some of the primary presentations to catch lots of big smallmouths out of moderate to deeper water fishing situations throughout the summer months.
We are loaded for bear. We got pikes.
There's so many different ways to fish for walleye. Dependability and efficiency.
Simple, fast, and easy.
The best rods on the planet. They like to eat when you're throwing the right thing.
You don't have all bluebird flat calm days.
Just a perfect eating size fish.
See, that's what I'm talking about, these Daiwa drags.
We got walleye stuff, we got crappie stuff, we got pike stuff.
Ooh, man.
Yep, there you go. Now you're talking.
Now you're talking. Yeah. Oh, man.
Wow, what do you got there, Mr. Simpson? We got a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Jimmy Special. That's a Jimmy Special. Yeah.
This is my favorite activity. These weather conditions we got right now are just perfect for this. Because you can fish so accurately, you know what I mean, with every different aspect of your electronics, everything from your finding them, you know, to go identify those specific spots on the humps, as well with Mega Live and 2D sonar. you can actually see so well, you know what I mean?
It is really nice. I'm back here watching your sonar units back here, watching the side imaging. You're up there with the Mega. Really fun. Oop, coming up again.
Well, come here.
Ooh, there it is.
There we go. No, not a giant, but that's a good one there.
That's a
Come
good
here.
one, yeah.
That's a good one.
Thank you, James.
It's
nice.
a pretty one.
Go.
I'll get you. I'm such a nice guy, I'll even get you the pliers. Do you even need such a thing, or you just pop it right out?
Yep, got him. Cool, and that was on the 2.5-inch salty tube. Nice again, huh? Cool fish. Awesome. That's so cool. You know, James just pulled up on that spot and bam, caught that fish. But we didn't just pull up on that spot. We did a lot of recon before this and went around and identified the spots and then really identified the key spots. So pretty cool.
VMC makes a wide variety of different delivery systems for finesse fishing. Today we're employing 4 of our favorite tactics. First, the VMC Nico hook rigged on a drop shot rig with a tungsten drop shot cylinder weight. This lightwire finesse hook is a positive hooking design, and the tungsten sinker transmits bottom composition better than lead sinkers. Next up is the VMC tube jig, which is rigged internally in the tube. This style of rigging works well in zebra mussel infested water or really rocky conditions. It simply doesn't get snagged up that much. Third, we have the VMC hybrid swim bait jig. This has a spring keeper for securing soft plastic swim baits. This system really makes your swim baits far and away more durable. Last but not least is the VMC Ned Rig jig. This jig has a good collar to hold soft plastics in place and a hybrid hook gap design for positive hookups. The 90-degree line tie works well for bottom dragging presentations like Ned rigging. Keep in mind these presentations are relatively slow moving, so finding the right spots on these structures with your electronics is imperative.
As Jeff and I were talking about earlier, one of the biggest things is do some amount of reconnaissance with your depth finder. And I'm actually working with 2 different really key features. One is the map, and number 2 is side imagery, because what we're going to do is we're going to spend some amount of time driving around these underwater structures, making back and forth passes and dropping coordinates down off of side imagery, which ultimately shows up on my map. And as you can see, we have some isolated boulders here. And what I'm looking for is very, very distinct things. The largest boulders. I'm looking for really distinct ledge drops. I'm looking for high ridges of rocks. Like right here, you can see that there's a bunch of rocks out to my left here, out in deeper water. Exit, let me get this up on my other unit. See out here, and I'm gonna actually scroll over, mark, exit, and then it actually shows up on my map. And you do some amount of time. I mean, this is worth its weight in gold, because you can quickly identify the absolute best spots in short order. And you can see what happens. We're on an inside corner and this boulder ridge swings in here, but I'm looking for a couple of different things. You know, one, if you find those really large rocks are really key. But also, so are some things like this one. You got these hard to soft bottom transitions. You can see where these boulders transition into the sand. Again, I'm gonna mark the edge of that. So when I come back and fish over, when Jeff and I fish back over the spot, we're fishing the absolute best spots on this point, and where the fish are most apt to be positioned. That's the real key. He's coming for it. Got him, big one. There we go. Oh, there he is. Wow. Boy, what's really interesting, see that boulder right there? That's where that fish came off of, and you can see that there's more fish sitting there right here, right on that boulder. Wow, look at the size of that little rascal. Whoa, come here. Wow. This is serious activities here. Whoa, come here, buddy. Come here. Oop, where are you? Oh, there he is. Oh, there you go. Here.
There you go.
There we go.
Nice.
Just another one. Boy, they're every one of them. I mean, these fish are, they look like they come out of a mold. Look at that. Come here, buddy. Let me get him off. It's a beautiful fish, though. Look at the color of that darn thing. Real beautiful animal. Come here, buddy. Come here, buddy.
This boat is rigged up about as nice.
Easy to use, and it flat out works.
It's a must-have when you're talking about big waves. Well, these trout are so darn tough.
This bait is legendary.
So that was on a number 8 Shad Rap.
Your style of boat control is really key.
One that was there from the very beginning.
You want to be able to see in the water. The adventure begins.
See them right there? If you sit there and watch, you'll actually see these. That's actually a bass right there. They're sitting by a bunch of rocks right there. This Mega Liver forward-facing sonar has really revolutionized angling. It's sort of intriguing, you know, over the last number of years. It's amazing that how this technology has really become dominant in just about every tournament in North America. And we're talking walleyes, muskies, smallmouth bass, largemouth bass, crappies. It's just amazing. Come here. Oh, there you go. Come on. Oh, how do you like that? I know one thing. I'm absolutely sold on the Somali worm. It's a little, finally, this is a big bite. We were been working with big bite for a while, and they just brought this bait out, and it's actually it's made it's got to actually have some scent in it. I really like those guys. Let me grab another one out of here. These are the bait I've been drop shotting with is called a Somali worm. And what's sort of interesting, it's relatively small. It's really sort of a small bait. But the thing is, it has a scent in it. And it's sort of intriguing in the fact a lot of smallmouth bass are often considered to be a very, very big sight feeder. But the thing is, with these really small profile baits, when the fish can come up and look at it, scent is a big deal when it comes to catching smallmouth bass. I don't know why when they come in really, they get in close to the bait, they're looking at it and they actually get close enough and they can actually smell the bait, and it makes a difference. Big Bite makes a whole series of smallmouth bass baits actually, and it's called Sensation. And we've been fishing it for the last couple of years, and I've really done really well with this stuff. I really like it.
You know, with all the presentations that have evolved over the years, rod companies have responded and created a whole line of rods specifically for those tactics. Now, when it comes to finesse fishing, that's even a lot of rods for there. I mean, we have 3 sitting here right here. The Legend Tournament Bass rod, this is a swim bait rod. So that's specifically designed for swim baits. Next would be another Legend Tournament, and this is called the Power Finesse. And that James was using he's been using for the drop shotting. And finally I got a Victory rod here, and this one is Max Finesse, and this is what I've been using with the tube. So all these rods just have beautiful actions. I've used a lot of rods over the years, and there's nothing sweeter than using St. Croix, I can tell you that right now.
You know, when it comes to finesse fishing, I've actually changed my tune over the last number of years, and as of recently, I've become a lot more sort of sold on bigger reels. And this happens to be a Daiwa Ballistic MQ 3000 size reel. And you'll notice I got it spooled with a brilliant yellow line. This happens to be Suffolk's 832 10-pound test braid. But what I like about this bigger reel is a couple of different things. Number one is the larger spool size, and the reason for that, a lot of finesse fishing situations, you want to be able to get a lot of line off the reel, whether I'm casting a swim bait, I'm drop shotting, I want to be able to get the bait back down to the bottom really quickly. That's a larger spool affords you the ability to really manage the line really easily. You sure?
Yeah, you're sure.
Wow, you got a big one on there, I think.
Ooh,
wow, there you go.
Wow.
That's a real one there. That's what I was talking to you.
That's what you were talking
now
about,
you're
James.
we're talking King Tut. Look at that mule. That's what I was saying. I was out here the other day and I caught like 4 or 5 of them like this one here. Great big ones. No question about it. When it comes to catching a lot of big brown bass throughout the warm water months, finesse is the way to go. The other thing is to do your homework with your electronics.
Recently, I had a friend of mine that's just really getting into the things of God. He's been searching his whole life. He's starting to ask questions. He was with me at retreats and at church things, speaking engagements through the years, along with my brother. And he had some problems in his life, was turned off to organized religion, a lot of that things. And now he's coming back around, and he's searching. And he asked me, Al, I want to get into the Bible. I've never read the Bible. He says, I believe everything I'm hearing, but I need to know more. What Bible do I get? You know, and I did, you know, I went through it. I got New King James, which I love. I like the Amplified. And the newest Bible that's out there is called the Passion Bible. It's the newest version. And I like the read in it. So I suggested to him, get this Passion Bible. It's the New Testament. It's Proverbs, Psalms, Songs of Solomon. And I told him, first thing I suggest you do, read the book of John. Have a marker with you or a pencil when you read it, and when you read something that really tugs at your heart a little bit, mark it, highlight it. More than likely, that's the Spirit of God talking specifically to you. And I said, when you get done with that, to know a little bit of what God says about living in the world that we live in, and that's a challenge by a long shot. I said, so go to Proverbs and read Proverbs, the book of wisdom. And it talks about daily living, wise counsel. And I would suggest that to you. If you're somebody looking, you never read the Bible, get into it. It's a great read, and it'll get you moving in the right direction. But I can't overemphasize, make sure you have something with you, because God will talk to you. These are not normal books. These are books, the Bible is the inspired Word of God. And when you read it and you feel that tug in your heart, that's God talking to you personally. He loves you, he cares about you, and he wants the best for you. Hey, from all of us here at The Edge, you have a good fishing season. See you on the water.